And one of the things we saw yesterday is a dramatic shift. Now the service requests are squarely, our number one service request related to winter is around sidewalks. So the good news is that we've dealt with some of the driveway issues, some of the on-road issues. The news is that we need to do better there. So we're getting that data. We're getting data from councillors' offices. So we have a direct line of communication out there in all the wards, so we're getting that as well. And then we're getting it from our visual inspections, who are saying that we've got issues on some of these. So what we talked about yesterday in our late day meeting is full send out of crews to do sidewalks. It actually wasn't clustered in any one area only, although there are some hot spots like Davenport and places like that. So we sent everybody out. And the other piece is we're adding more inspectors. Clearly we need to do some work on that. It may be we have to slow the crews down a little bit. Sometimes the snow is falling in behind it. It actually looks like we haven't done the work. So we're looking at the pace that they move at, where we can store the snow. But I just want to let people know this is one of the reasons we opened up 311. It's there 24/7, so we can get this type of data. And in our operational meetings, we can adjust our approach and get people doing what they need to do.
And sorry, Paul, I just have a follow-up question for you. Yesterday, you said that there was a 6th site that you had located for a snow dump. Today, it's back to 5. Your media department's saying that there wasn't a 6th. Can you just tell us what's the deal with the disconnect there, and are you having issues with capacity of storing all this snow?
So no issues with capacity. Sites have to meet a whole bunch of standards. So we've got several that we were looking at. We thought we'd lock down one for sure, but we're actually looking at several at the same time. We will get up to 6, 7, whatever we need to make it happen. But let me just assure you, whatever the actual day-to-day logistics are on getting those additional ones, the 5 we have in operation now are more than enough for us to begin and continue this operation over the next few days. We're anticipating that we're going to need it, both for the TTC operations as well as our own operations. So a little bit of a need to regroup, but we've got plenty of places that we're examining today.
Hi there, Mattis Tabibinia, Toronto Star. Just to go back to the sidewalk clearing, Paul, last year one of the big issues was that at any given point, half of our fleet was in the repair shop. What does that figure look like today?
So the good news is we're better than last year. It was a vulnerability coming in, and it's not where we want it to be eventually. So what we've done is we've increased dramatically our ability to fix the machines and get them back on the road. So we're cycling through machines as they break down and getting them back out. We've been running at any given day between 2/3 and 75% availability of machines, much better than last year. We also are getting new machines out. So now I think we have a total of about 4 that are out. We had 2 more delivered. We've trained people, so it's about making sure they're roadworthy, getting them out. These are Bobcat machines. They actually have a little higher capacity to push the snow, which is another issue we ran into. So it's not where we want to be long term. The good news is that we have increased performance from last year. So there are more machines from the city's perspective out on the road. And then, of course, our contractors do the vast majority of our sidewalks throughout the city.
And then just a follow-up question from my colleague on plows. It's a bit of a technical question, but are the sidewalk plows working in a way where workers have to drop the blade below a certain height?
So I'm not sure technically I understand what that is. We can certainly follow up. What I will say is we are starting to swap some of the front end away from a blade and actually get it into more of the snow blower, I call it, technique. I'm sure it has a fancier name than that. So we can actually cut through the snow and throw it a bit. Some of the problem is we plow snow now, it just falls back in because the ridges beside it are so large, so we're actually cutting through it and doing a bit of snowblower exercise. So we're trying to find all the ways that we can create the space. I'll tell you though, what will help us immensely on the sidewalk side is what we're entering into now, which is more removal of snow.
Allison Hurst, CTV. If you want to, Paul, if you just want to stay out there, I imagine you'll be taking this question as well. Just wondering if you can give us a bit of a sense with the snow removal operations that are happening, how many locations are being done, say, right now? And are they scattered around the city or is it in one particular area or 2 particular areas? I know, for instance, you mentioned hospitals. And then, when will people start seeing those roads happen?
So, we have up to 25 crews out there doing this work today. We are prioritizing, again, bridges, obviously our hospital infrastructure, which we started a couple days ago, and looking at the TTC piece for sure. But we're heading into local roads today. We're prioritizing very narrow local roads. And so you think about areas down more in the beaches area, certainly in the Davenport area where they're really, really narrow roads. We're prioritizing some of those, but it is spread across geographies. I will say we don't have to do it on every road, thankfully, in the city of Toronto, because we do have 15,000 kilometers of roadway to worry about. But we'll be getting out into those areas, and as we start to get into the full operation, we'll be providing more information about where we're going. But it's those orange signs that go out ahead of us that are really important. I can't stress enough, when you see those orange signs, it means we're getting ready. Clear off that car, get ready to move that car, because the faster we can get down your street, the faster we can move on to the next street.
When you mention local roads, then are you talking about the small, narrow side streets where you're starting with, as opposed to, say, bigger streets that might be, routes where there might be snow routes that need to have that snow cleared out, might be emergency vehicles heading down them as well. We saw the last couple of days some emergency vehicles struggling to navigate certain areas.
So it's a combination. So we continue to do some what people might say are larger roads, but we are starting to focus on those very narrow local streets, because those folks have no real options. There's not a lot we can do with plowing. There's not a lot we can do with our other equipment. We have to get in there and remove the snow. But we are still opening up capacity on our larger roads, making sure emergency vehicles can get along well. So this is a ramp-up stage for us today, and the fuller operations will continue.
Hi, Alan Carter from City News. A question for the mayor. Mayor, last year you said that the contractors said that they plowed things and they didn't. You were very, very direct in your complaints about the contractors. How are the contractors doing this time?
The contractors are doing much better. We have fixed the GPS problem. We have fixed the website where the snowplow TO. We are actually looking at that map to see which road have been plowed or not. And I have actually personally drove to see if that road is actually done. And they are by and large correct, which is important. The other thing that we've done is that the patrollers now have supervisors. In addition, that whole people that are out there patrolling to make sure the contractors are delivering the service standard that we demand. They are reporting back into supervisors, and we are completely on top of it. In fact, this morning, I asked precisely that question, and I've been assured that our patrollers are out there. We've increased the number of inspectors and the supervisors to make sure that the contractors are delivering the kind of service we demand them to do so.
And a follow-up, last February you did not have snow removal as part of the budget. How much is this costing, the snow removal, and how are we paying for all of this?
You're right. Last year, snow removal was a huge problem. But what we did this year is that we have reached out to the city workers, these public servants, and they rose to the occasion, whether they are from solid waste, water, or any other outside workers, and working closely with their union 416, they have rose to the occasion and said, we will come to the support of our folks that are removing snow. So you notice that at first we had 100 yesterday, we now have 175, and they are coming in. They are city workers. They are pitching in right now to say, we are here to help out. They've been helping the TDC deck out the stations area. They are there to be deployed by our snow maintenance crew, our team. So that is extremely helpful. And also we have put aside a hefty reserve funds. So we are now still within the budget. We're fine at this point.
Last two questions.
Mayor, last year, a lot of your opponents were blaming your administration for what went wrong with the snow removal. I'm just wondering, could you tell me how much you think your political reputation stakes on the performance this time?
What I'm concerned about is right now a mom with a stroller that needs to get out and take the kid to childcare center or go buy some grocery with the kid. And I'm wanting to make sure people like that or a senior with a walker can actually navigate through those narrow sidewalk that have some snow on it and it's hard for them to do so. I'm focused on that. In terms of reputation, whatever reputation it is, what I do know is that the contract that I inherited that came or signed in 2021 did not have snow removal as part of the contract. I look with jealousy with Ministry of Transportation in Ontario. The MTO contract has snow clearance and removal. So you look at they are able to do both at the same time. I am slightly jealous of that contract. We did not sign such a contract in 2021. We will fix it when those contracts are up for renewal. We can't go and break the contract at this point, but we will definitely have a very different kind of contract that would include snow removal into it, because it doesn't make sense for us to just shovel the snow and not remove it at the same, also as part of the contract.
And Paul, just one last clarifying question on that snow removal on side streets. You mentioned that orange signs will go up. Can you just tell me what that actually means for somebody with a residential permit? Like, are they actually required to move their vehicle, or are you just saying you should do it to help them out, or will they get towed regardless? Just if you could sort of make it easier for people to understand all the moving parts here.
Sure, it gives notice that we're coming in the next day or so. Once we start our operation, we need the cars to be moved. So it's less about you don't have the right to park there anymore. It's really just as we're going down the road. So the really important piece is help us, because it saves us from having to do a friendly tow or whatever else we might have to do to clear it. And then you'll be able to come right back. I mean, once we go down and get that cleared, the street will become much more usable for residents. So no, that's not a warning about getting out, but it is maybe a sense of where will I go when I need to move my car, so that the city doesn't have to do it for me.
Paul, just
if I might actually talk a little bit more about that. The plow will come down on one side of the street and remove snow from that side of the street where there's no parked cars, okay? So that the car and the snow will have a place to go, okay? So we remove one side, and then the snow, and that's when the shuffling has to take place, and then the car needs to move out of the other side, either into the neighborhood or into the other side where it's now clear and open. Then we can go down on the other side of the street and shuffle and remove the snow that way. So because right now in those very narrow streets, there's no place to put the snow because all the front yards are full and the roads are full, so that's how it's going to operate. But there will be notice with yellow notice. If you see us coming down, knock on your neighbor's door and give each other a hand.
Could you just remind us again which parts of the city staff are responsible for clearing, and then which parts of the city are the contractors responsible for clearing?
Mayor Olivia Chow, along with City Manager Paul Johnson, providing an update on the city's snow removal status. Taking the update outside today to give us a look at a snow dump site where the snow is being melted. You can see one of the melters behind them there. More sidewalk clearing is needed. That's where the city say they're not doing a great job right now, and a better job has to be done there. Salters also out again, they said, on the roads to help melt the remaining snow on our streets. Now, this is important. Orange signs will be posted to warn when cars need to be moved for snow clearing on the side streets, because basically they go down one side and clear the snow, then they need to move the cars to the other side to clear that side, and orange signs will be going up. You'll have about 24 hours to move it. Neighbors need to tell other neighbors when they're coming into the area, and you'll see those signs. 1,300 city staff working on these efforts. The mayor saying another 175 staff from other divisions will be added. Inspectors are out checking now that the city contractors are actually doing the work, and that was a big problem last year. Important to remember, call 311 if you spot or have an issue. You're watching CBC News Toronto. We'll have more stories from our city when we come back.